Gentlemen, to another Late Night Chaos Incarnate video, and today we have a Beyblade tier list. Well, actually, I think I'm just gonna find a Beyblade tier list, mostly because I've been searching and haven't quite found one that piques my interest in full, so we're just gonna remove this and see what we can find. Fair warning, I am recording on OBS, so if this thing gets laggy, don't be too surprised. Yep, there it is. Okay, arcs, blades, no recolors or cross-gen. Nope, I'm good. Okay. And all of these ads are part of the site, so bear with that. Let's go to our next page. Anime tier list. Okay, one sec. Let me let's try Hasbro Beyblade Burst, because now I'm curious to see what this is. Any century now, that'd be great. Click on this again. Oh. Yeah, that's disappointing. Okay, let's go back. Beyblade Legends releases. Okay. Beyblade Burst GT tier list. Okay. All Burst drivers. Yeah, screw it. Let's give this a try. All Beyblade Burst bays. Okay, let's see what we've got. Alright, so it's all in release order. Good to see. Yeah, I think we'll roll with this for now. Okay. So this goes all the way down to Burst Ultimate. Okay. I think I might just save that for later. Alright, so if we're gonna go off of... I guess we'll just go off competitive value, starting from where we all start from. And I'm gonna rank these all relative to the era they debuted in. So something that is, God, what would the term be? I'm going to be ranking them mostly in relation to the ones they relate to, but there will be some comparison to the other gens. Naturally, the newer stuff is going to be a bit higher, but don't be surprised if you see any of the older stuff meshed in with the newer stuff, as like something like, say, Excalibur would be top tier alongside something like Guilty Longinus. And I'm going to be ranking these mostly on stock, so let's give her a try. So Victory Valkyrie on stock be about a B tier, be a good place to put it. Wing Excel was pretty decent to start out with. It had surprisingly no rubber, but solid shape, decent burst resistance. The stamina was its biggest flaw. So yeah, pretty good place to start the burst generation on. Spriggan Fusion, or Spread Fusion was like a more aggressive but also easier to burst version of Valkyrie, so I put that... I'd say it's interchangeable with Valkyrie. Then we have one of the only good Ragnarok bays, Heavy Survive. It basically had all of the flaws of the following Ragnaroks, but it was consistently sturdy, so I'd put this right above them. Shit, what was I gonna say? Its disc and driver were pretty good for the time, so then we have Kerbeus, who was also kind of in that same ballpark with Ragnarok. Definitely had some competitive parts. Death Scyther I'm putting in A. The original Death Scyther layer was insanely good for defense, and Oval and Excel. Oval wasn't too good, but Excel, well, already discussed that with Valkyrie. Wyvern, yeah, that one's getting... Yeah, it's getting a C. Like, all of these bays, don't get me wrong, on stock, all of these bays are relative to each other, but, shit. How long is this video at right now? Hang on. 6 minutes, okay. Yeah, yeah, Armed and Massive. Anyway, those parts really aren't all that great, especially not now or for the time, so we're just gonna leave that as it is. Trident, I believe Trident was in a similar ballpark, just with better stamina. Odin, bottom of the barrel. Like, the only thing it had going for it was the layer being really good for defense. Kind of similar vein to Death Scyther, but Blow and, I forgot what the disc was called. But yeah, wasn't all that great. Horusud even, or actually... Yeah, it's worse. Okay. Minoboros. That's an old one. I'd say Minoboros was probably above Valkyrie. Like, it was inconsistent as all hell, especially with the driver Quake being so off the rails, but yeah, I'd put it somewhat comfortably here. Could definitely see it being lower or higher if needed. Unicorn, no. Yeah, this one was pretty good for the time. Put it right about, yeah, let's put it there. Excalibur. Yeah, it's getting an S. There's no debate about that. Evil Eye. Shit, I forgot what combo this bay had. Hang on. Wing Needle. Okay. That's a pretty average combo. Put that about here. It's better than Wyvern, but not significantly better. Neptune. Zephyr's not all that great, nor is the Armed Disc, so think it might sit just above Odin, but not by much. Yggdrasil, I think Yggdrasil might make up that gap here. Kanox, or Chaos. Despite my bias against the name, or bias with the name, I cannot see this thing getting all that high. It's gonna go there for now. Amaterios, I actually have this one. That's sitting right next to Excalibur. Balder. Shit, what combo did Balder have? That was a while ago. What was the combo? Bumper Bite. As far as I remember, it was basically just a more defensive version of Amaterios, so I'm going to say it's interchangeable, but I don't remember the performance value. Okay. A lot more dual layers to cover. One sec. I think once we get to the God layers, I'm going to stop. Alright, so Victory Valkyrie. Immediate bump up from single layer Valkyrie. I'd put it about here, especially with how powerful the Awakening is. The only problem I could see here, other than the stamina, would be the wings being able to break. Storm Spriggan. Oh, that's tough. Wow. It was like, it had really high attack power, and Unite was a really good driver, but Knuckle was okay at best, and the burst resistance was insanely low. I'm going to put that about here. It's in the tier below. Like, this one wasn't really so much consistency as it was strategy. Like, if you could burst the opponent before they could burst you, you were smooth sailing. Rising Ragnarok. Love this beta death, but immediate downgrade below the original. I'm going to put it about here. Yeah, let's put it here. Burst resistance was way too low. Revolve was really good, so was Gravity, but the layer just tanked it so much. Kaiser Cabeus, kind of a similar vein. I'd say it was more consistent than Storm Spriggan, but these two could definitely go back and forth. Wild Wyvern is getting a massive jump. Definitely got a lot more consistency than Victory Valkyrie, and a lot higher defense than Carabeus. Orbit was really good for stamina and LAD as well, even though LAD at this point didn't exist yet. Dark Death Scyther. I've experienced some breakage problems with this one as well. I'm going to put this one below Storm Spriggan, mostly because while it had insanely good defense, just like the original version, I'd say that was also its downfall, is that's what really caused its attack power to drop. Jaggy's pretty solid, but not the best thing I'd pick. And Force, Force is alright, especially if you know what combo you're using. Holy Harusud, wow. I've seen some pretty good stuff from this one, but I'm going to put it down here. Like, it's consistent, but you need the right matchup to make it work. Obelisk Odin. Ooh. Okay. That's tough, because the hard part with ranking the bays in the first few seasons is that they're all so relative to each other that there really isn't any one true one above all. Extreme Driver, so more consistent than Victory Valkyrie, so I'd put it around here. Yeah, I could see this one changing places with Wild Wyvern, but yeah, I'd say the consistency is what gets it. Triple's also a really good disc. As you know, Excalibur, seeing as we're running stock, I put this down here. My main reasoning being, it has insane attack power, but its burst resistance is also lackluster as all hell, and it really lacks the speed. Because, like, Magnum, pretty good disc, lines up really well with the driver, but Impact as a driver sucks horribly. Its stamina is just way too low, and this thing is arguably more inconsistent than Victory Valkyrie, so it's definitely down here. I've seen some good from this, but you need the Extreme Driver if you want any value here. Okay, let's see. Yggdrasil, Yugen Yggdrasil, kind of like a... I'm going to put this one below Rising Ragnarok, primarily because I've seen, I've had the two go head-to-head before, and while it's got debatably better burst resistance, I'd say that the loss in attack power is what brings it down. And then we have another horrible evolution from the one that came before it, Unlock Unicorno. Boy, where do I put you? The gimmick sucks, but it's got the stamina to keep itself afloat, so I'm going to put it above Xeno Excalibur. Basically, the gimmick is it has 9 blades with that one horn supposedly being built for attack power. Kind of like this, but only on one side. It sucks. The needle driver is really good for defense, though. Not the best on stamina. Nova Neptune. Oh boy. This one has the trans driver. Vertical's okay. The layer sucks. Burst resistance is pretty low. I'd say the trans driver, it's an interesting gimmick. Oh God, where would I put this? It's like the trans driver's solid, but it doesn't excel in either category. So I'm going to go ahead and put this above Excalibur, mostly because it's at least consistent. It still sucks, though. Zillion Zeus. I've seen a lot of people give this one flack for being underwhelming, and I get that. But I would say out of the Supreme 4 bays, it's probably one of the more consistent out of the main 4. Its burst resistance is a bit of a flaw, but it's arguably the strongest stamina type in Season 1, so I'm going to put this above Kaiser Kerbeus. Yeah, that's a pretty damn consistent out of the bunch, even if it is a little underwhelming. Quill Quetzalcoatl. Oh God, where would I put you? Really low burst resistance, and the shape isn't all that great. Like, the sides are good for defense, but these 2 points are just what bring it down. The disc is cool. Forgot what it was called. It was basically the defense version of Magnum, where it had like this blue little plastic ring around it, and it would recoil attacks back, or bound them back. Basically the defense type variant of Excalibur. I'm going to put it here, mostly because, again, consistency is a big thing. Fenrir. Okay. Essentially a more attack-focused version of Death Scyther. I would put it... Yeah, I kind of put it here. The 2 of them could be interchanged, depending on how you use them. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. Beast Behemoth. This one is also a bit of a consistency battle, because you have to, for the whole driver to work properly, you have to get it up to top speed. So, I mean, it's good, but I've also seen Rising Ragnarok go bar for bar with this thing, so I'm going to put it around here, because the consistency can definitely throw it off. Ifritor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going here. The wheel driver, or liner, as they call it, is not all that great. Like, it's a cool idea. It's weird. It's basically a... Hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah, let me just... Yeah, it's got a wheel on it. I don't know who thought this would be a... Yep, here it is. I don't know who thought this would be a good idea. It's not, but it's also funny as hell, and I can't hate it. So, yeah. I also don't know who thought that would get a dash driver, so... But the layer does have some decent attack, and Magnum's a pretty solid disc, so I'll let it live. Psychic Phantom. It has the polish disc. This thing is automatically going up here. Yep. Yeah. Pretty good stamina type. Again, polish really carries the combo. The layer is pretty solid too. Yeah. Yeah, polish was really that good. Lost Longinus. Shouldn't have to say anything, but I'm going to anyway. One sec. The first burst left spin. The layer was just so heavy. It had these 2 metal dragons, and with such an aggressive shape, too. 9 and Spiral weren't overly good. Spiral was a little hard to control, and you couldn't flower pattern well with it, and, 9, despite being one of the most beautiful discs out there, really, like, it synchronized well with the layer, with the whole gap thing, allowing it to almost bite down, quote-unquote, on the opponent. But really, aside from Longinus, I don't think the 9 disc ever had any actual use. So, yeah. Gigant Gaia. Pretty good balance type. I'm going to put it about here. Because its whole gimmick with the quarter disc was basically the weight was shifted to one side so it would wobble a lot. And these 2 hammer points, it was kind of like a balance type version of Excalibur. So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. Jail German Gun. From my own experience, this one is fairly solid if you know what you're doing with it, but it's not great. The stamina on the driver is okay at best, so I'm just going to leave that there. Atlas Anubis. Yikes, that's kind of tough. Because, like, it's so round, but its attack power also sucks. I'd say the lack of aggression is probably what brings it lower, but the stamina and defense on this thing is so good I can't put it any lower than that. What was the Evil Eye second combo? Yeah, let me take a look at this. Exceed Evil Eye. Hang on, let me find this. Yeah, here we are. Alright, I'm not finding an actual combo for this thing other than Gravity Atomic, which, oh, whoops. I mean, just off the layer alone, I've never actually used this alone, but it's off shape, I'd probably put it around, I'd probably put it about here-ish. What else do we have? And the last one on our list is Minaboros. Another one. Yay. More consistent than Xeno Excalibur, but not by a humongous amount, so I'm just going to put it there. Okay. How long is this video? Alright, well, I hope you all enjoyed. We will get back to the Beyblade Burst tier list another time, and I'll see y'all later. Have a wonderful day.